Welcome back to the HGC Finals at BlizzCon. Currently, we are 1-all in the semifinal between Team Dignitas and Miracle. In Game 1, Miracle was able to stop Dignitas' aggression with the Kerrigan, but it was not to be had with the Genji and a Tracer.
Yeah, definitely not. That setup destroyed them absolutely. Not getting a single kill on that map pretty much showed how strong Dignitas performed here.
Any thoughts as to where we might be going next, Trick?
Ooh, a couple of options. I think we all would love to see a Towers of Doom. Obviously, one of our favorite battlegrounds to watch, especially when Dignitas is on it. But we could be seeing anything like a European special. 2-man Spider Queen could be great too.
Any thoughts as to what Miracle might be feeling here as far as a map or first pick?
A lot of it does come down to, I think, we've seen what happens when the Warriors get prioritized. The Garrosh, the Diablo, we know that JPL and Judy, they've both excelled on those. The Anubrak, the Korean special pairing with the Ural. But if you don't get those options, I look at somebody like JPL, with all due respect to Judy, JPL has so many heroes that he's known for, the Murd, and we haven't seen that in so long. He's kind of disappeared at this tournament. Gilly, one that we like, that we always know that Dignitas can pull out.
Artanis.
It's also by pulling people. Yeah, Artanis, clearly Artanis. But the Stitches, I mean, they have so many things that they can do. That's what makes this team special. So depending on what map we go to, I think that front line, so they either need to prioritize the front line or really heavily commit to a Frankel-style play.
Yes, when in doubt.
Hook them out.
I knew you had my back there, buddy. Beyond that, expectations now for Miracle and the mindset. We talked to them before this tournament, and I asked, whose job is it to make you feel better, to raise spirits when you start to lose, when times get tough? Because undoubtedly times are tough right now. And they said, it's kind of Nacho Gen, but then somebody ruins that for them. Do you remember who that was?
Blue Beetle.
Yeah,
Beetle.
why?
Because he tells bad jokes.
He tells dad jokes.
Dad
Tells the best jokes.
He tells Trixler jokes is what they really said.
That's how bad it was, exactly.
That's why Blue Beetle is one of my favorite sports.
Because you're both not funny.
Blue Beetle's kind of
That
funny.
hurt.
It's okay.
That was painful, dude. In front of this crowd, you're going to say that? Dang, dude.
A line was divided in the desk this day. We know Genji is waiting in the wings, and now we've kind of seen how both of these teams are feeling today, on the day, the final day of BlizzCon. Who do we feel is maybe going to be a better match for Genji in those grand finals?
Oh, I mean, like, I definitely want to see them going up against Dignitas.
100%.
I want the repeat from the mid-season Brawl Grand Final. I feel like most people, at least from the Western scene, want that rematch. But again, Miracle deserves to be in the semis. They already have shown that they can take down Dignitas. So I wouldn't call it too soon yet. Exceptional play on game map number 2, but that series is not over.
Well, I have to break it to everybody now that Trixler was awful and checked and knew what map we were going to beforehand. Trixler!
Oh, it's like,
Gotta sell him out.
What do you want from me? It's right in front of my screen.
How did you know? How did you know? The European favorite, I mean, you called it.
What do you want me to say, Praxis?
All right, we're going to 2 with the Spider Queen. This is a European specialty, and Team Dignitas is the team to take us there.
I will say that when you do look at the map pools, knowing that Dragonshire was banned, a very good map for Dignitas and Full Sky on BOE, it does seem like a likely one. So Trick had some research done, even though he didn't.
And there's more to it too, because there's the aspect of you've just gotten a win with Dignitas, and you was a demoralizing loss for Miracle. But when you look at our battlegrounds, Tomb of the Spider Queen in Europe is one of those battlegrounds that if you think that you are better than your opponent, you beat them down. You go for the double turn-in, and that can be a way to really just knock Miracle out mentally when it comes to the rest of the best of 5 series. Take up the Tomb, shut them down with the double turn-in, and go from there.
Well, one of the Warriors is let through now. The way that these bans have played out, Miracle, I think, is making a play around that. Garrosh will go. And now keep in mind that we saw Johanna last game. Johanna is very good on this battleground as well. It's just a matter of, will Dignitas be willing to commit to that because they only have 2 picks before the second ban?
I love the adjustment with Medivh, though. I really, really like it that on this map in particular, they're just saying, okay, we're not going to deal with that. And it leaves, as you said, a tank open. And that's the choice that they have to make right now. And they go for Diablo.
Yeah, I was wondering about Diablo or Tyrande, and they decided to go with the Diablo, which I think we need to go with. I mean, I was talking about it yesterday, but there's 4 heroes in particular that are very important. Miracle. It's Diablo, Garrosh, Thrall, and Blaze. If you have 2 out of those 4 in any capacity, Miracle typically gets a victory. So Diablo is going to be their major pickup and the major reason why they might be able to get a win here.
But Genji has still been let through the draft. Yeah, he doesn't offer a lot in terms of being able to wave clear and keep that going, but if you know that you have that, that is a secret weapon, and that's something that was just destroying Miracle in the last game. So something that Miracle had to keep in mind. I think that's why we saw that pause before going into the Diablo pick.
Genji is also fantastic for giving you the map control here. You always have those quick rotations with this mobility towards the bot lane, so you can offset the balance in the one-on-one setup. So it's definitely a pick that can still come out. But the first thing that we're seeing is looking already for a Wombo setup here with the Jaina for the burst damage and with Deckard Cain.
This is something that we've seen before with Miracle in their run. When they took down Ballistics, they used the Jaina, have the wave clear now that you're lacking with the Decker Diablo, and now we could see that flex over. The one thing I always like about Rayners against Diablo in competitive play, that penetrating round is just waiting for that shadow charge at any given moment, because that can be interrupted. So in the hands of Poik or Snitch, depending on who that is, you know that you're going to be trying to keep Diablo off of you. So Urel coming in the second part of the bans here, which means that we're likely to see that Blaze, even the Leoric, which used to be an old EU special, kind of saw his way out. But when you look at the lack of mobility of a Jaina, Leo is a bit more appealing to try and get a flank.
You were talking about earlier, but is it time for the Stitches to come out for JPL? You have that Tyrande, Music Ball for the Lunar Flare, you got the Wave Clear available with the W build that we've been seeing from a lot of Stitches in the past. Sure, there's been more tanky builds coming out lately, but it can work certainly well here on 2-Man Spider Queen.
I'm waiting for it.
It's gonna be a Tyrael and a Blaze coming out.
Wow, how did you know? Dude, like that was insane prediction. I love it.
But
that's a European caster right there.
Right there, yeah, got you.
Okay.
Screen's hard in my way, man. I'm sorry, my bad.
You get the double protection. We've seen this. This was actually something that worked really well when you go back to the first Western Clash. It was something that we saw a lot of teams run. I think it was during the Zealots run. So you have the stun potential to come out from the Blaze. Depending on what we get here, knowing that Jaina's already locked in, I don't think that's as threatening. So the Genji's picked in, so you don't have this super point-and-click lockdown.
This is where Dignitas can choose. Do we want Snitch to be hyper-aggressive? Do we want this to be a more macro-focused play from them? This is the pick and the choice of how they want to play. They've left it up. It's a great way of drafting. And I wonder if we're going to get Snitch back on a melee assassin here.
I think they need something with mobility, because right now, the Tyrande and the Raynor, if a Leoric comes in there, the Greymane, so they're going to rip a Cursed Bullet, but a Diablo coming in into an Entomb, and then you've got Genji, you've got Jaina, that is so much damage that can come out in an instant. So going with Greymane, though, was not the hero I think anybody really expected there. It's something that we've known Snitch to play for a very long time, but our current meta has not been favorable towards Greymane.
Yeah, I was stretching towards that Thrall, or even maybe that Zeratul, which has been showing a lot in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
That's who I thought it was going to be. I was waiting, and when I said I'm waiting to see it, was Zeratul, and partially it's because Miracle has banned a lot of Zeratul, and they've had to ban other things versus Team Dignitas because there are other concerning picks for them. But I think Miracle are more locked into what certain melee assassins they can play than the flexibility that Snitch provides.
I mean, the Leoric is also something that, at least in Europe, has heavily dropped off. We've seen it very, very rarely. Now it adds the extra wave clear on the map that you can get here. But it's not quite necessarily what I expected. I expected something with a bit more kill potential on the offlane.
That's the thing, is that we now have, it's all about Wubby's bunkers, because the minute those Entombs come down, he better be nearby, because you can put the bunker just outside the Entomb and click to get in it. So I think a lot of it, their positioning is going to be very crucial when it comes to those team fights post-level 10.
Whereas Judy has dominated all through the group stage on Garrosh. How are we feeling about him being able to at least get Diablo in this match?
Oh, I prefer his Diablo over his Johanna or Nubrak any day. His Diablo is devastating. He knows how to get in there, and the thing is, he stays alive for an eternity with or without the help of his support.
Like, he played extremely well on the Diablo, especially against Liquid. Like, he had some great scenes there. So I have no doubt that this is going to be really difficult for Dignitas to control. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to deal with that. The Leoric, still curious to see how much that comes into play here for them. Level 20, on the other hand, is going to be rough. Once you have Buried Alive, if it ever comes to that point, then Leoric just power spikes so hard.
Right. Well, this is it. The next game will determine who is one game away from the Grand Finals and a match with Gen G. Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Dignitas and 2-Man Spider Queen, a European special Caldor. Will Miracle be able to hold it?
I mean, you're the one with the amazing predictions. The map choice is coming out here, so if anyone can tell me, it's you.
Dignitas has got this. They got the poke. They got the delays available. Blaze here as well to help out with those Entombs that should be coming out of Miracle. Dignitas going to a traditional map for them, and Wubby is going to be a star player here. I can feel it.
I mean, he has to be. He already delivered on the last match, but my eyes are still locked onto Judy with that Diablo. If he can make the engages happen, of course, there's a Reyna on the other side who's trying to stop you with a penetrating round. We have also other tools like the jet propulsion alone, but still, he needs to be the one who makes the plays for his team.
Well, here we go into the third map here. Dignitas on the far left. JPL. Tyrael is going to be played by him. A Blaze on Wubby here, Foik on Raynor, and we're going to be having Snitch showing off the gray main, unexpected, as Zalia will be showing off Tyrande. It is Team Dignitas.
It's game number 3, and to the right side of the map in the red, we have Genji, played by a sniper. We see Frankel on Jaina for all that burst damage to confirm the target. Nacho Jin on Leoric for the offlane. Blue Beetle on the support. He's rocking the Deckard Cain. Judy on Diablo. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Miracle!
As mentioned in the draft, a lot of protection here for Dignitas between the Blaze and Tyrael. But if there is any misrotation for Dignitas, Miracle with that Entomb should be able to kill. But hang on, Dig coming out firing once again as they jump straight on top of Judy. Judy backing up straight to the potions, not to take some damage too, but Dignitas, man, they are loving these early game team fights.
They definitely do, and that was already a big win for them. And oh, they continue the fight even more, trying to go for a sniper here. So far, it looks like he might be able to get away, but hold that thought. He goes down, Genji dead, and Dignitas with the first blood in game number 3.
You do not typically get a pick on a Genji in the early game, but that Swift Strike being used, and Wubby able to idolize it, move in, and get the full engage. Allows for Dignitas to get that pick up. Now we're going to go straight into the wave clear here, which if you look at it, Miracle has great wave clear. When you look at Frankel in particular on that Jaina, and this is actually a star hero for him. So watch for him around level 10 in particular to be destructive against Dignitas.
It was still a pretty big setback that they took so much damage in the early game, because a lot of the players outside of Genji had to just move back and tap at the fountain, so that's already not an option any longer for them, for the time being at least. But I'm still looking towards how much Diablo is going to impact this game. We're going to wait for him to get a couple of stacks together on his soul so that he is a lot more hit point heavy. And then we'll probably have a bit of a tougher time for Dignitas to really get the kills. It's really Greymane who then has to deliver later on.
Early bruiser camp here from Miracle, getting the offensive play, but Dignitas realizing that there was not a rotation on the map, is going to guess their opponents were on top of that camp, but Tyrande may have scattered out as well. So they grab their camp and should have the defensive capability for this, meeting up with the spell camp right at their turret. So he should be able to handle that and also deal with Miracle, who typically goes for a drop-off when you go for that first initial push at the bruiser camp.
In talents, you can now also see a few of the differences that we highlighted earlier. We now Austin's renewal on Leoric is taken on level 1 for Miracle. When Dignitas were running Leoric on Infernal Shrines, they went into the Consume Vitality. Now, a lot of that had to do with the cooldown reduction that you really want to activate throughout the entire Shrine phase, but it shows again that especially Korean teams are very dominant when it comes to that Austin's renewal to give them value.
Camp in favor Dignitas here in the middle. Judy goes in for a flip, trying to get close to the turret. It's not quite there, but at least in range here for Nachoujin to help out with that wave clear. That Neil Peasant to level 4, helping destroy that lane here in the middle. 19 gems have been dropped off by Dignitas, building towards that first turn-in that we typically see from them.
They have a lot of interrupt potential here too through Tyrande alone. Just sending the Owls and the Lunar Flare through can help you to make sure that your opponent doesn't turn in. Now granted, there's also a couple of tools for Miracle. We're talking about Deckard Cain, you have Genji available, and also to an extent Jaina, depending on how far you're willing to go and how much you're going to risk there. But right now, the objective mainly controlled by Dignitas. 25 turned in, and only 5 missing before they can complete a turn-in.
Yeah, you were talking about Jaina, that Frost Shard really helps out with that clear, that Pierce being available, make sure that she doesn't get in too much trouble in terms of trying to delay that turn-in. But Wubby also will be pretty instrumental in that bottom lane, helping out with the fire, of course, as he continues to throw out that oil. JPL juking and jiving here on the top side, while Frankel goes for the first turn-in from Miracle. We'll be able to get it. No, another delay once again.
Yeah, there comes the Lunar Flare that we've been talking about. The interrupt potential through Zalia. And he's, of course, getting those stacks in with it, too, sitting at 2 for now. Rotations between the top turn-in point and the bottom are pretty frequent here, as both of the teams are trying to sneak something in. But it might very well come down to another big battle between the two.
Yeah, and you gotta wonder if Dignitas wants to have that battle. Do they want to wait till level 10 with that signification so you can empower that gray main, allow for him to go for that full-on dive, find a target? Jaina would be the main target for him. Dignitas continuing to build up towards that. 25 gems have been dropped off, but Judy looking for his own engage, goes straight in for Foik.
That was actually a really good attempt, but the follow-up from Blue Beetle was a bit off there. That could have definitely been a kill if he lands that properly. I think there was a bit of a mistake in communication between Diablo and Deckard Cain. outside of that, this could have been the first kill for Miracle, and especially Poik needs to be careful here because he is the prime target for them.
But it still shows that Judy willing to pull up that initiative, and that Diablo really allows for him to have that initiative and find those engages. He'll definitely have more opportunities to find those picks.
Especially now that he has a couple of souls available. He's already sitting at 77, so that hit point pool is allowing him to make these plays without exposing himself too much. Snitch, of course, still at the frontier, able to move away as Judy was hoping to put him into trouble.
Yeah, Judy went for that full engage, but Snitch is bit completely back, knowing they have the teammates to back him up. Poik doing his best here to push Judy away while JPL goes for that turn, and he has the level gems available to him. Dignitas, tight backward zone, needs to be careful. Blue Beetle, constantly with that poke, should prevent them from getting that turn in.
I mean, Europe is known to get the double turn in, get one turn in and try and take a bit of a lead, just spiral that towards the level 10, and then with the heroic abilities as an advantage, you're looking for the second one. Again, the engage onto Poik though, as Miracle is looking for the fight. They excel at team fighting. They've done such an incredible job against Tempest, through that in particular, and of course they're going to look to be the aggressive team in this match.
One of the reasons why Diablo is so strong on this battleground, Judy already finishing that Soulstone quest, having all 100, so that full tank capacity, being able to make sure that he has that region available for him, and that really allows for him to keep up this aggressive play that he keeps pulling off. Now in the bottom lane, we constantly have these two continuing to fight back and forth, and they have a hefty amount of gens on the Nocturne Gen, sitting on 32.
Level 7 for Leoric also, no hopelessness for him. Instead, we're having the drain momentum here. So the added movement speed that you get through that. And once again, that mobility can really help you on the map here, especially in those team fights to launch onto these targets. Here comes Judy once more onto Zelia. Gets a bit of damage in, but the turnaround attempt as we're seeing Greymane engage.
Judy just does not care. He will dive time and time again. He knows he has Decker to back him up. He was looking for an engage near a turret of Dignitas. Say there was somebody that was able to drop some CC there. He may have taken some shots and maybe fallen victim, but he doesn't mind. Snitch, however, in trouble. Kiting away, a sniper punishes.
That he really brought the pain there. Genji did so well. Sniper following that up and already thinking about going even a bit deeper, but that would have baited him too much. 9 on both sides, both waiting for the heroic abilities here.
Judy.
And again, the attack towards Poik.
Poik was putting some damage on Sniper. He did get him to back up. Judy comes in and gets a snap, but the turn-in actually happening here for Miracle.
Leoric zoning out Whoopi at the bot lane, and then we saw the turn being completed here, so Miracle is going to try and build up a bit of momentum. It's actually a bit of a dangerous situation for Dignitas. They themselves are close to 10, but if Miracle gets that quickly enough, they could even try and dive behind it. Looks very likely that both are going to get their heroics at the same time, but there's a small chance for Miracle to make maybe a play.
Yeah, you certainly have to watch out for that Entombment be coming out. If they try to catch him even over the wall, that could be the pickup. And then, of course, Judy is showing a hefty amount of aggression. He's willing to dive. He's Dignitas is going to play it safe here, sit behind the turrets, and make sure to clear this up. They'll hit 10 just in time to have this defense.
And now, of course, the question, how much is Miracle going to get out of this? Some pressure at the bot lane, but most of their aggression is focused onto the middle of the map, where we're seeing the turrets being destroyed, the fountain about to go down. Can they take the fort, though? That's the question.
That curse bullet online for Greymane, hoping to blow up Diablo, who's been pretty aggressive. You can make sure you can follow up straight to that curse bullet, see if you can get that kill. Dignitas defends the middle lane, but the bottom is in trouble. Bunker comes out from what? And there's a blizzard, and he's picked.
He goes down, and that's a lot of gems that they just lost, and they're not stopping there. Miracle goes in, the sanctification's already on the ground as they're trying to save them somehow. The turnaround attempt, but Nacho Jin survives on Leoric. Judy goes in again. They try to go for the kill, and they get it. Tyrael falls.
Sniper on that back line, looking at Poik. Leoric also getting picked there at the same time, but a 2-for-1 trade in favor of Miracle. And the big news, too, is they take out the fort in the bottom left.
They take out the fort, they are ahead in experience now, and let's not forget that with them taking down Whoopi, they also make sure that Dignitas loses a fair amount of gems here. They're trying to make that even more as Snitch is the target, but with Miracle currently just, they get the second turn. They confirm it. They go straight for turn in number 2, and now Dignitas has to be careful. If they lose another few heroes, if they lose even more gems, this could be a disaster.
Exactly. This is a position that we see many teams in, and usually a majority of them falter. They fall victim, something that keeps under pressure. They lose a couple of gems. The pick goes haywire. Dignitas has to remain composed and defend.
The pressure is already there. The pressure is already there at the top lane, taking the turrets down, pushing the wave out, making sure that the Web Weaver becomes very dangerous to the top fort, and then the rotation into the middle of the map. Bot lane also, Leoric escorting the web weavers towards the keep wall. Miracle wants the 13, and they're likely to get it here.
Dignitas thinking about maybe going for an engage. They bring Webby up here to the middle lane, has that bunker available. There is no sync for about 20 seconds, but they really would like to clear up this web weaver. It's at about half health. Spellar Camp is going to help out with the defense, but Genji in the top is just shelling away on that fort.
And he's getting some damage in against Snitch too, so this is actually a pretty big battle, which forces a rotation from Dignitas. They're making the moves right now with Tyrande and Reyna moving in. Sniper had to retreat, but here comes a question of Apocalypse.
Judy saw an opportunity, but that opportunity was false. He went in for an APOC, was hoping to get off the full combo, but Dignitas backs away easily, especially with the fort already having to deal with the minion wave pushing in.
Now 13 on the other hand, here's the Entomb. They go for Snitch. They stun it to the wall, and down goes Greymane. Miracle with another kill.
Beautiful aggressive play there from Miracle, and they're wanting a little bit more too. Judy stepping up, but having no cooldowns available, he will be unable to find a pick, but they get the fort. And the first layer defense is completely gone for Dignitas.
That was incredibly well done by Miracle. Getting that kill a bit later than they expect, but they still got it now 2 levels ahead, and they turn their attention towards the boss immediately, trying to barrel through that top lane and maybe even already threaten keep. Dignitas, they scout it out, but they can't do anything about it.
No, they can't. Off the waiter down here, get level 13, play it safe, and defend. The good news is the gem turn-in being available. It took over 2 Miracle here. Only 43 out of 60 gems, so you're not going to have to deal with a boss and a turn-in at the same time, but still, a boss pushing towards you is a threat. Dignitas is going to be working for that 13 and try to hold on.
And Dignitas continues to lose gems. They have enough to secure a turn-in, but they currently hold 33. So there's still a little bit for them to lose. The boss is strong at that top lane. Leoric making his way through the middle right now, pushing this in as well. And the experience just keeps on tickling towards Miracle.
Dignitas might try to go for this fight. Lunar Flare goes out. Ooh, Genji immediately out of there. Leoric pushing in the middle lane too, so Dignitas will be there. But they're so reactive right now. They don't have a chance to even step up and get that turn-in.
And now we have Miracle turning in whatever they have. So they make sure that even if they lose a hero or two, that there's no upset for them when it comes to the objective itself.
They actually got enough now for the full turn-in. Will they get it here?
I mean, during all of this, we saw Leoric just pushing out the bot lane, and he got so much experience in the middle before he made that rotation even. So he still holds the rest of the gems, and he can't just get the turn-in yet. But here comes Dignitas. They get the web weavers. The big question here is just, when is Miracle going to hit 16? Because that would be great for them to defend.
Exactly. Dignitas is hoping to make a splash here.
Oh.
Kind of 4 or even find a couple of kills.
They actually get the bottom camp.
Yeah,
he
they
was
get over
there
here.
just in time to keep it active.
So they get the giant camp. They'll have the 3 web weavers pushing in. What can they do with this? They ideally would love to take down a couple of forts. Sure, you might only get 1 here, but Miracle, they have some pretty solid wave clear. Look at Jaina, look at Leoric. They should be able to handle this.
The problem is, how does Dignitas force a fight?
Yeah.
They can do it around the jet propulsion and also around the Tyrande stun, but outside of that, there's very little that they can pull off here. They try and go for nitrogen. He turns around, gets the double entomb. APOC not used. There's not enough around. They didn't collapse. They only had 3 heroes in the middle and made the choice to walk away.
Nitrogen's low on health, but he should be able to escape, but that 4 is the one that's in trouble. Frank comes over and drops down the water elemental. He's trying to force the engage. Blue Beetle steps up, stay a while and listen. He'll hit Snitch, but the bunker comes out. Dignitas turns around, jet propulsion. There goes 1. Sanctification, and there's a second.
Double kill against Jaina and Deckard Kane, and they go for the triple as Leoric falls. Miracle loses the fort in the mid lane, and they lose 3 heroes. Dignitas back to business.
Exactly what Dignitas needed, and now they can play for that level 16 and tie up the experience. They push out the middle and start to tread through. And the good thing about a Greymane, even though we don't see him very often, he destroys structures.
Pure execution on the side of Miracle, and now they might be the first one to lose a keep here. They don't have anyone to defend. Dignitas, they have 16, and after taking a beating in the early stages of the game, they are now taking the lead in game number 3.
At any moment, Dignitas can just flip that switch. Beautiful play by them. The full engage from Miracle coming forward, but the turnaround on the bunker and the decision to destroy a target was instantaneous.
Miracle has to communicate better. The Entomb was there. They didn't follow it up with an Apocalypse. They just decided, guys, we only have 3 here. We can't go for it. But then again, for the second time in a row, we're seeing an Apocalypse that just doesn't get a lot of value. And with 2 heroics already being used and not getting anything, immediately Miracle loses 2 as Dignitas goes straight for the kill switch. Now they get another turn in. They are riding the momentum train, and Miracle is all of a sudden in a very, very awkward position.
The question is, what can they get with momentum, though? Because this is their last turn, and they have no more gems available after this, so Dignitas will be in a bit of a lull for a little bit. So let's see what they can get with these web weavers. Miracle on the other side, if they can defend, they do have enough gems to go for their own turn in. Top side, Nitrogen taking some damage here, but Tyrael's not going to get that kill.
It's going to be an easy defense at the bot lane. And you raise a really good question. How much can Dignitas get out of this? Because bot side is defended quite easily. Middle keep is already gone. So naturally, you would focus your attention towards the top of the map. But it's a little bit doubtful if Dignitas gets a lot out of this.
Dignitas pushing out this middle lane to make Miracle defend that. They want to go for this keep here. That's their major play. That would be their greatest achievement if they can pull that off with this turn in here. There they go, finally rotating over. This keep wall will easily go down. The keep is the question, and Miracle already setting up for the defense. You have Noctogen ready with that Needle Peasant to clear it up.
And this is really the one play that they can try and make here. But if Miracle gets a good combo off with that N2, with that Apocalypse, and the follow-up, then this could also turn very quickly into a graveyard for Dignitas, bunker or no bunker. Cooldowns haven't really been used yet, but the defense is ready for Miracle as Dignitas tries to go for keep number 2.
The Web Weaver's already low. I'm keeping an eye on Greymix. This should be the one to pull the trigger here to go in. There goes that Wubby. Jet propulsion into a Lunar Flare. Sniper turns around, puts some damage out, but the keep only tickled.
Yeah, keep loses a few hit points, but that's just simply not enough. The fight's still raging on. The Entomb is there, and it hits a Snitch, but the Sanctification is being used by JPL to keep him in play.
That Shadow Stalk was so brilliant there, making it to where you couldn't click on him. And of course, Noctogen gets turned around on it, cleaned up, as Dignitas completely destroys him. Judy seems to be next. There it is. Dignitas just knows how to turn around a team fight.
Miracle making some questionable decisions here, and they're losing a third. Down goes Jaina, and that's a chance for Dignitas to get even more. Snitch doesn't even die.
How is Greymane still alive? Snitch gets out with a sliver of his health and will get healed up by Tyrande. Two have fallen, and Dignitas makes the play for the boss. They push on over, and with the Greymane, they clear this up.
They're in a fantastic spot right now, and you have to really question the decisions that Miracle has been making. That defense at the top, trying to chase that down, and especially Laura going this deep, getting immediately blown up after coming out of the Wraith Walk, and now we're having a boss barreling through that top lane. Dignitas, they can look to finish here. If they get another kill with the keep already on half health, that's definitely an opportunity to take the lead in this series.
Exactly, round 2, Dignitas versus this keep, and it looks like this keep might not be able to take this round here. Web Weavers will be coming out, but that should be an immediate cleanup. Dignitas is going straight past the Web Weaver, and there it goes. Catapult pressure in the top lane will be coming pretty soon here as this Banshee attempts to clean it up. There we go, boss is going straight for the score.
And that's a healthy boss, and keep in mind, Judy lost his head, so and he's down again! He falls, the counter kill though gets Greymane, and that's a huge amount of the damage that is available on Dignitas' side, but that boss is still on the core.
That's still your core rush there. Boy's trying to step up and get some damage, but that water elemental is slowing him down. Wubby goes in for another jet propulsion, and the core is starting to be tickled down as Dignitas is looking for the win here. The bunker comes out, there's a Sanctification too, 50% on the core. Miracle trying to defend, but the boss is just wheeling away.
They're layering it, and Miracle is about to fall. The kills are coming in, but it is too late.
Wow.
Dignitas takes the win onto the Spider Queen and the lead in the series.
That game was in Miracle's hand.
Yeah.
They overstepped a couple of times, and Dignitas just has the awareness to turn around and fight at any point. Constantly, Noctogen on that Leoric was looking for that big N2, looking for that big engage, that big swing. And Dignitas said, no, if you're gonna get that close to me, we're gonna dispatch you, and deleted him both times.
From Dignitas' perspective, it was really great play to wait for these moments when you could start the turnaround and then go straight for the kills, take them and really snowball it with objectives taken, with the boss control too. But if you look at Miracle, they have to be extremely unhappy with this because they had that game.
Yeah, I think you have to keep that in mind, is this game looked dire early on for Team Dignitas, but there was a time in European Tomb of the Spider Queen where Dignitas often fell behind to teams like Fnatic J-How.
For a very long game,
yes,
too, mind you, at that. Europe on Tomb of the Spider Queen, it was not foreign to have 30-minute games. Look, I just want to say there towards the end that the extension by Leoric, Snitch's micro was insane.
Yeah.
Like, we talk about it a lot where timing is very crucial in games. How fast you get rotations, how quickly, the timeliness of what they did. The positioning that he had on that Leo to get into position was just to get into Worgen form so he could go in and dive out if needed, but he ripped the Curse Bullet, they got the blow up. He kept his inner beast up this entire time, ended up microing away, getting the shots on the sidewall, moved over into position, got the heals, and he kept that inner beast up to allow the boss to be ripped down, that way it didn't reset. He kept that up long enough that by the time they made it to the keep, he was able to get back onto that inner beast. That right there is a display of mechanics at the highest possible level. That was insane play.
Snitch isn't messing around. around. Team Dignitas are not messing around. They won a grand finals, and nothing showed that more than how fast they counter-engaged.
I mean, that Untune that came out straight up a snitch should have been a kill from if Gina shows up, gets Blizzard off, the Water Elemental connects, but we had the Shadow Stock one to make sure that he goes into stealth mode, so you can't even put the Water Elemental on top of him to get that proc. And then the same
Corner sync.
just for good measure. Like, this much was there just to keep Snitch alive. Dignitas, as you mentioned, is not messing around.
I was just a bit disappointed by Miracle because I felt there were so many instances where they were looking to execute a combo and it just didn't work out, and it was even close. Especially Judy really struggled a lot more on Diablo than I expected. He was not really landing those apocalypses the way he wanted to. He had a couple of engages where he was trying to go for a setup, didn't work out at all. And then he got blown up twice at the last defense without even having a sliver of hope of survival there. So he really struggled in that game.
Early on, though, was pretty good for
Yeah.
Miracle. It's just like they stepped on a coiled snake.
Yeah.
Or an angry owl, or whatever Team Dignitas are, and that was
Who?
their undoing.
I'm
we're
like,
gonna-
where are you walking?
Oh,
Angry owls
man.
on the ground that you step on?
Okay, I've stepped into something, that's for sure. We're going to hear from our sponsors when we come back. We'll see if Dignitas takes it home.
The 2018 HGC Finals are brought to you in part by Republic of Gamers, Corsair, T-Mobile, Samsung SSD, and NVIDIA.